Scarface versus Mr. T. When a legend collides with the devil, when everything falls silent and the truth appears in the eyes of beasts. In the heart of the savannah, beneath a sky that turns red at the end of every battle, a confrontation was inevitable. Scarface, the lion who carried a scar on his face and dominance in his silence. And Mr. T, the beast who planted fear even in the hearts of his own brothers, the devil who challenged everyone, without mercy and without regret. One spent his life ruling and protecting, the other built his history from blood. And today, there is no escape from the clash. This is not a fight for land, but for glory, for immortality, for who will be remembered and who will be erased by time. Stay with us, because the end will be the beginning of the greatest chapter. Who is Scarface? The king who cannot be defeated. In October 2007, a lion was born unlike any other. He carried the name Scarface, but the scar was not the reason for his title. It was the result of a path filled with glory, war, and blood. From his earliest days, the signs of greatness were clear. A massive build, instinctive intelligence, and eyes no lion could mistake. His rise was extraordinary. He was driven out of his pride early, not because he was weak, but because his strength frightened even his own father. He was not an ordinary cub, but a future king. He returned years later, not to beg for a place, but to take it. He fought his father and won, beginning a new reign in the Masai Mara. Scarface expanded his kingdom across Kenya and Uganda and led a pride of more than 900 lions. He fought crocodiles, tore apart armies of hyenas, and was the only lion to defeat a full-grown hippopotamus in single combat. He was not a king by strength alone, but by wisdom and loyalty. A limping, one-eyed lion, yet one whom other lions walked beside out of respect, not fear. All who knew him, human or beast, agreed on one truth. The land had never produced his equal, and perhaps never would again. Who is Mr. T, the devil who walked on four legs? Within the Mapogo coalition, which terrorized all who dared enter the Sabi Sands, a lion was born who redefined fear itself. He was neither the oldest nor the highest ranking, but he was the most brutal and the bloodiest. Some called him the devil. Others saw him as the end of anyone who came too close. His name was Mr. T, a lion who recognized no blood ties and was ruled by no emotion. He killed rivals, killed cubs, and even fought his own brother Makulu in a savage battle for dominance. He did not seek leadership, only absolute control. When the coalition could no longer tolerate his violence, he left, taking his brother Kinky Tail to rule the east and north with an iron claw. His silence was louder than a roar, and his presence alone could still the entire savannah. His name became linked to ambushes, massacres, and everything his enemies feared. In a single moment, he could strike without warning, kill, and vanish. He was not just a lion, he was a curse that walked. When knives clash beneath the skin of family, Scarface and Mr. T were not strangers. They were brothers. Within the bloody Mapogo coalition, everything was shared: blood, land, and buried hatred. Their history was not cooperation. It was a constant collision of opposites. One ruled with reason, the other devoured with violence. Mr. T rejected any weakness, even from a lioness that refused to mate. Scarface, by contrast, made room for brotherhood, even as he stood at the top of leadership. In one of the bloodiest chapters of their past, Mr. T clashed with his brother Makulu in a brutal fight for control. Scarface, however, did not scatter his pride. He understood that lions who burn everything will not last long, and that true dominance does not require stabbing everyone in the back. The scar and the curse. Neither of them was created by chance. Their legends were forged by challenges, betrayals, and blood. Scarface, despite his disability, never surrendered. Limping, one-eyed, yet he faced 6 lions alone, killed 2, and left the battle permanently marked, a scar that became his identity. It was a declaration to the world that this lion could not be broken. He fought a full-grown hippopotamus and faced hundreds of hyenas without ever calling for help. Mr. T, on the other hand, chose to become a curse in every challenge he faced. He did not just survive, he imposed terror. He killed rivals and their cubs, seized lands no one could enter without his permission. Even after losing his brother Kinky Tail in a Majingalane ambush, he fought 4 enraged lions alone and withdrew, wounded but unbroken. Each faced the world in his own way. Scarface with wisdom and patience, Mr. T with fang, claw, and cunning. Scarface versus Mr. T, the moment of explosion. The wind stops, the air goes silent, and the earth listens. In the depths of the savannah, near the edge of a river dried by the heat, the two beasts stood. Mr. T growled through his teeth as if the ground itself were cracking beneath him. His muscles trembled, his eyes burned, his breath tore through the stillness. He could not wait. He wanted blood. Scarface stood opposite him like a mountain that does not move. His scar glinted in the sunlight, his single eye fixed on a foe he knew too well. He made no sound, only a silence more terrifying than any roar. Then it exploded. Mr. T leapt, a savage, furious attack driven by years of rage. He bit, clawed, tried to tear apart anything in reach. And Scarface? He stepped back once, gave him space, then turned and struck. The fight became chaos. Blood flew, roars ripped through the sky. Scarface was wounded in the shoulder. Mr. T took a blow to the neck. It became a battle for survival. But as seconds passed, one truth emerged. Mr. T attacked without stopping, without thinking. Scarface calculated every move, drained his enemy, and waited for the moment no one else could see. Then it came. A sudden strike, a bite to the neck, a full-body charge. Mr. T fell. He tried to rise, but the balance had shifted. And in that moment, everyone understood. The scar had never been weakness. It was the mark of an undefeated king. The psychological and tactical analysis of Scarface. Scarface did not win because he was stronger. He won because he was smarter. Every second of the fight, he read Mr. T like an open book. He was never surprised because he knew him from the inside. He knew Mr. T fought with rage, not reason, and that anyone who charges endlessly will exhaust himself before his enemy ever does. The limping king did not need brute force. He needed control. He waited, observed, and struck when it mattered, like playing chess with fangs. Psychologically, Scarface carried the weight of an entire kingdom. He lost an eye and kept walking. His wounds became medals, not weaknesses. He lived not to terrify, but to be respected. That is the difference. Mr. T was feared. Scarface was honored. And in the end, those who rule by respect endure. Those who rule by fear fall. The dark side of Mr. T. For all his terror and bloody history, Mr. T was little more than a walking bomb. His strength was immense, but uncontrolled, a fire that burned everything, including its own source. He knew nothing of retreat or patience. He was used to ending fights in seconds, but against a foe who waited, he unraveled. Mr. T lacked one crucial element: wisdom. He built no alliances, planned no future, and spared not even his own blood. His rule was a short chapter of terror, without loyalty, without legacy, without heart. When the savannah falls silent, who remains in memory? Mr. T may have been more violent. His roars may have shaken the trees. But history does not preserve noise. It preserves what builds, not what destroys. Mr. T killed many, but left no legacy. Scarface inspired. He ruled with both power and loyalty, with both fang and mind, gentle with those who deserved it, merciless only to those who challenged his kingdom. Scarface ruled for 12 years, longer than any lion in Africa. When he died, lionesses mourned. When Mr. T died, the land remained silent. In this legendary clash between the devil and the king, the outcome was clear. The victor was not the strongest, but the one who knew when to fight, when to wait, and when to rule. and one name alone was etched forever into the savannah: Scarface, King of Kings of Africa. The end? No, the beginning of a legend. Of all the lions who walked the soil of Africa, 2 will be remembered, but only one will remain king, even in death. Scarface, the lion who defied nature and imposed his own laws on the wild, is the victor.